The werewolves' tangle with court secrets has led to deadly consequences. Unknown to them, their leader Abraham has killed a young court fairy. The maiden in question was Lumia O'Rayan, sorceress in line and the passionate member of a proud lineage. While investigating the werewolf involvement with Prince Malik, she dabbled in powers she was unprepared for. In the end, it led to the accidental death of Prince Malik and the murder of Lumia herself at the hands of Abraham. Back at Verdington Palace, Lady Morida is severely distressed by her daughter's absence. As if rumors on her infidelity and a broken marriage isn't enough, she hasn't seen her girl for over a day. And now, the leads Lumia had on her investigation are lost with her. The Fae Court is at a loss. Lady Saffron thinks the fairies should have more faith in Lumia and await her return. Perhaps she has found the truth of the matter. Surely, there's no harm in letting a young fairy acquire merits and solve problems the rest of them are facing. The philosopher approves of Lumia's initiative, but she can see the worry plain on Lady Morida's face. A mother knows her daughter best, and something is telling the sorceress that all is not okay.
Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Sims 3 Fairy Amazon Royal Saga with the Verdington Fae Court. We have finally returned to the palace where the rest of our fairies are pondering the sudden disappearance of Lumia O'Rayan. She has been gone for over a day and everyone's a little bit worried, but I think mainly her mother, Lady Morida. Looks as though Dowager Queen Ivy Verdington wants to chat with Azalea. Sure thing. Maybe news has gotten around to the Dowager Queen that a member of the Fae Court hasn't been heard from. Now, Saffron feels as though Lumia is fully capable. She's a young fairy. She's gathering merits. Everyone else shouldn't be nearly as worried about her. She'll find a way home. She's probably, following some leads and such, and might even have discovered the truth about the scandal. She's carrying out the Queen's orders in a way, even though it was a separate investigation. So she's kind of happy to let things be for now and, give Lumia a bit of time and see what happens. Obviously, no one here is aware of the tragedy that has befallen our lovely Lumia O'Rayan. But Morida, she feels as though something is definitely wrong. She can't put a finger on it, but she just has bad feeling. Oh, okay, that's fine. She just has this really bad feeling that something went wrong. And she's just anxious to know what's become of Lumia and where Lumia is gone. So she's definitely not going to be able to ease up the way that Saffron is saying for her to do. Meanwhile, Lady Celine is feeling strange. So, for whatever reason, she is also just suddenly started feeling very anxious about Prince Malik. She's a bit worried about this whole Lumia situation, and I don't know if Celine's aware entirely of what Malik did. I don't think she would be. Obviously, she's keeping her relationship with Malik a secret, and Malik did all these things, spread rumors to get attention away from their affair. He did it, without telling Celine because he wanted to protect their relationship. And I don't think Celine would have entirely approved of that if he had told her. But she's feeling strange. She hasn't heard from him as well. And she wants to go see what's up with him. She wants to know what's going on. So, actually, I think she is going to have some bread really quick, and then she's going to make a trip to Malik's estate. She's going to pay him a visit to see why he hasn't been replying to any of her missives. She wants to know what's going on with him. I mean, he's in hiding, Lumia's in hiding, as far as the fairies are aware. So things are looking definitely odd. But it's good to be back with our fairies. Little Lilac, hello, honey. We haven't seen these guys for a few weeks, actually, because the past few weeks we have been focusing on the werewolves. So it's good to be back with little Lilac. So some of you were saying what's going on with the Orion line. Are there going to be any more babies born since Lumia has died? Nope, we're going to have no more babies because the breeding season is over. It finished with Lilac. That does mean we have a spot for some new fairy blood in the next generation, just like we did with Saffron. So there is going to be a new character in the next generation that will join the court. But it does look as though the Orion line, the bloodline, has ended with Lumia because she has died. And I think some of you are confused about Lilac being Lumia's sister. Lumia didn't have any sisters. She was an only child. Lilac Orion is the youngest sister of Astrid. She's the youngest sister of Astrid. She and Astrid are both daughters of Lady Selene. Now, Lilac is Malik's daughter. Malik, who has just died. And Astrid is Callum's daughter, Prince Callum, Lady Selene's husband. But okay, she is going to visit. She's going to prep to visit Malik's estate. It is raining. Even the weather seems a bit gloomy. And his estate is quite far, actually. It is very far. And, of course, nobody lives here. But she's gonna head here. She wants to figure out what's going on. So she's gonna go visit the manor, see what she can gather about Malik's whereabouts. So let's get going with Selene. And obviously she doesn't want the other fairies to know where she's going or what's going on here, because it is an affair, and that's not something the other fairies would approve of. They definitely would not. But okay, she's taking one of the vehicles out. She's heading to Malik's estate. And let's see what she discovers. So now that she's here, things definitely feel a little bit strange to her. Now, unfortunately, geez. Definitely, things are strange. She's ringing the doorbell. Nobody is answering. But she feels as though there's something going on here. There's something that she's missing out on. Something she has to investigate, but she can't figure it out. So I think she's gonna hover around. She's gonna try and look in the windows to see if she can gather anything. She's gonna try and look in the windows, figure out a way to get in, because she feels as though there's something she needs to get in somehow. Okay. She needs to get in. She can't exactly get in. She's looked through the window in the side. She's gonna try and... hold on a second. She's gonna try and come out back, and she's gonna look through the window here. She's gonna look through the window at the back, because she can't really see much from in here. So let's come out back. Let's see what's going on. Let's investigate. She's obviously worried. She's thinking maybe Malik's sick or something's happened. And... okay. Jeez. As she's looking through the window at this point, she sees the ashes, like, of two fairies on the ground, on the floor. She can see this through the window. We're gonna have to be a bit imaginative, guys. And I doubt it's gonna be in tins. Just ashes, right? But I have a feeling when there's situations like this where there's no body and they are just the ashes of a specific, like, supernatural, they leave kind of a magical, they leave their magical essence, like part of their magical essence remains with the ash. And so fairies who were associated with them can tell whose essence it is. I imagine that's a part of being, you know, the supernatural. So they would be able to tell if those ashes belong to someone they know or someone they don't know. And so right now, Celine, she is trying to figure out what's going on. She's trying to figure things out over here. Right? And she is going to realize that on the floor, she has the ashes of her beloved Prince Malik Verdington, and that is going to just break her heart. Now she's going to know that the reason why Malik has not been replying to her missives is because he is, in fact, dead. She's terribly heartbroken. She doesn't know how this came about or what's gone on. And she's really, really upset about this. And she's also now studying the ashes of whoever is nearby Malik. And she's realizing that the magical essence on that ash belongs to Lumia O'Rayan. So Celine now knows that the fairies were right, or Morida was right to freak out about Lumia's disappearance. She wasn't missing, she was dead, just like Malik. And now there's like so many questions going through Celine's head about how they died, who killed them, under what circumstance did this happen, because she has no inkling of the mess that, you know, Malik and Lumia and the werewolves all got into. She has no clue. But what she's realizing now is that she has to somehow get inside, and she has to try and get those urns. She must recover those urns, and she has to bring it back to the Fae Court. That is, you know, her responsibility at this point. I mean, Malik is lost to her, but because Lumia is also dead, she doesn't care about, you know, the affair being revealed or whatever else. She, at this point, needs to do what's right for the court, and she has to bring this news back to everyone else, especially Morida, who's going to be mourning her daughter. So Celine's going to try and recover the urns and the ashes, and she'll take them back to the court. Right, Celine has managed to come inside the estate, and as you can see, she is just so distraught. She's crying her heart out, but she has to collect up the ashes of Prince Malik Verdington and Lumia O'Rayan so that she can take this back to the court and report her findings. So she's going to pick up these graves / urns / ashes, because that's what they really are. And she is going to head back to Verdington Palace. So she's not going to stay where she is too long. She's going to come back right over here. Now the fairies obviously are not aware of what's happened. She's going to come back all the way, and then she needs to tell them this crazy news. And obviously there's a lot of things going through her mind right now. She doesn't know why Malik and Lumia were in the same place together. Like, why was Lumia visiting Malik at the estate? They weren't really that close. And then who killed them, obviously? Who killed Lumia and Malik, and why? this is going to be going through Celine's head, and then once she presents this information to the fake court, it's going to be going through the minds of everyone else. So we'll wait until everyone's gathered, and I suppose we'll have to see what conclusion the fairies come to regarding this. But okay, let's get you inside, honey. Let's get you in with the fairies. And then, yep, okay, wonderful. Right, so as Celine is coming in, I think she is going to basically call out to everyone, saying that they have to be at the throne room. There's news. She's bringing news that everyone needs to absolutely hear in the throne room. So what our fairies are gonna do, I'm so sorry for anyone who's like busy doing all this stuff, but Morida, we're gonna get Saffron to sit there. The queen was eating her dinner, but she needs to be on the throne, so Queenie's gonna head to the throne. We'll get Lady Azalea here. Let's see, Astrid, take a seat. Silva, take a seat. Princess Avalon, take a seat. And then Celine, let's see, she's gonna ignore whatever the hell this call is. Yes, no. We're busy with important stuff. Okay. Now Avalon, where'd she go? I don't know where Avalon is. She was out. I don't know where she was out, but that's fine. She's coming back. And obviously Celine and everyone, they're waiting for the princess. Messages have been sent to her. This is very important. Okay, Morida, take a seat, honey. Take a seat. The reason why Morida and Saffron are there is because they are the closest fairies to the queen in the court, so they have the privilege of sitting next to her. We'll ignore that call. Yes, no, thank you. Okay, princess, here she comes. And what the heck is she wearing? What is the princess wearing? I don't know where she went, but let's change into something a bit more appropriate, princess. We have some not so good news. Okay, princess is gonna sit down. And now Celine is gonna share the news with everyone. She's gonna show everyone the ashes of Prince Malak and Lumia Orion. And she is going to tell them that our missing fairy is dead. So Lumia has passed on. Celine went to Prince Malak's estate and she discovered the remains of Malak and Lumia. She does not know who killed them, why they were killed, or when they were killed, but there was nothing left apart from their ashes, and she's obviously very heartbroken over this. She is crying and weeping and everything. And I think Morida just can't believe what she's saying. She's having trouble, but it's clear enough to anyone that she's presenting these ashes to, because like I said, the magical essence of those fairies are there. And the fairies, you know, the court members, they can tell whose ashes, like who the essences belong to. So now the question that the queen is going to be asking Celine is, what were you doing? What were you doing at Malak's estate? And I think that's going to be fueled more by Morida and her, you know, accusatory remarks. Like, what were you doing at Malak's estate? Why did you go there? Morida wants to know this. And oh, poor Lilac. She's like hungry and everything. I'm sorry, Lilac. You're going to have to wait a bit. I think at this point, Astrid is going to excuse herself, although she really wants to know as well. She's going to excuse herself because she has to feed the baby. So she's gonna go feed Lilac. So she's gonna head off while her mother speaks about this, and I think Celine might find it easier to get into it without Astrid being in the room as well. But she's gonna admit to having an affair with Malak. she's going to say that she and Malik possess a special relationship which the court might not approve of, but she can't deny her feelings for him. And they meet with each other frequently, but he hasn't been answering any of her messages, any of her missives, letters that she sent, which is why she went to his estate to check up on him. And since no one answered the door, she snuck around and had a look inside, and she found the ashes. She found the ashes inside the estate, so she broke in to recover their remains and bring it back to the court. So that's what she's telling Snow and the other fairies over here. And, you know, while she discovered Malik's remains, she discovered Lumia as well. But she has no clue, no inkling as to why Lumia was there in the first place. And this is where Saffron's going to pitch in, and Saffron is going to say, well, Lumia was investigating the relationship, the false rumors surrounding her mother, Lady Morida, and Kyle Delaney. She was trying to clear Morida's name. And the last conversation that she and Saffron really had was about that lead that Lumia had, and she was finding, I think, how's the baby doing? Baby's doing fine. I think Astrid is okay to come back. But Saffron is going to say that they were talking about the werewolves and how the rumors spread from the werewolves. They gathered that much. And they were investigating the princes who were close to the werewolves. And, you know, who might have been the one to give them direction regarding those rumors. And so now that all the information is coming out with the court in one place, I think everyone's being able to pitch in information and connect the dots. And once Saffron has said that, she's suspecting that maybe Lumia went over to Malik's estate to investigate Malik's connection to the werewolves. And Queen Snow, she's going to hear that, and in her mind, she's going to say, aha, well, Malik was the one who presented the werewolves case to her not too long ago about granting them lands in Dragon Valley. And they were residing with Malik before that happened. They were under his, you know, I wouldn't say leadership, but he was assisting them. He was helping them get settled in Dragon Valley and establish a space for themselves in their future. So for the Queen, Malik's connection to the werewolves is clear. And now that's pretty obvious to everyone else. So I think they're starting to understand now what went down. The question remains, though, is who killed Malik. So the conclusion they've all come to, or the Queen has realized now, has become clear, is that Malik spread those rumors about Morida and Kyle, which were false, to throw the fairies off the scent of their affair, which has become obvious because Celine just admitted that, you know, she and Malik were in a relationship. And he's the only one who had a connection to the werewolves, so he obviously told the werewolves to spread the rumor and why that happened. Everyone gets it now. So Morida's name, more or less, has been cleared. And the Queen is also asking Celine a few things here about her involvement, and Celine's swearing that she doesn't know anything about this. She didn't know that Malik was involved in any way, shape, or form, because she would never try and harm a member of the Fae Court, obviously. I mean, she's got 2 kids in the Fae Court. It doesn't do her any good to, you know, to soil their names as such. So she's not going to do anything that her daughters would be ashamed of, and she's from a line that have been faithful to the Verdingtons, right, since her mother's generation. So, obviously, she is not going to do that to anyone. And plus, she's the eldest of the previous generation, so she's kind of like an older sister to the other ladies. She holds them in high regard. So she wouldn't do that to Morida. She wouldn't put Morida in a situation like that. But she can now understand why Malik would have done it to protect them. He did something he wasn't supposed to. He went a bit too far. So I think Celine is mourning his decisions as much as she is mourning him right now. And I know everyone's saying they're hungry, but let's just pretend they're all distressed, okay? Let's pretend they're distressed at the news. So that's what's going down. And like I said, the question that remains is who killed Lumia and Malik? What went down at that estate? They have no clue at this point. They figured out one part of the puzzle, Morida's innocence, and Celine's innocence, you know? They're obviously not happy with Celine having this affair, but they can't do anything now because he's dead. And Celine, they trust her. She says she has no part, and they trust her. She's done nothing to prove otherwise. But what remains now for them to find out is who killed them. And they have no leads currently, so I think the fairies are instead going to be focusing on taking care of the ashes of Malik and Lumia, setting them up somewhere, setting their graves up somewhere, and then they're going to, I think, wait it out to see if any light comes to this matter, comes to the murder of Lumia and of Malik and all of that. They're just going to have to wait to see if any information comes forth. For now, they have to deal with the aftermath of these secrets that Celine kept and that Malik kept. So, okay, let's get the ladies all settled in for the night. It is way past midnight. Everyone's tired. Everyone's grieving. Everyone's upset. So, let's get this sorted. It is the following evening, and the fairies have just gone through something a little bit unbelievable. And this has them even more confused than what they were before. So, after Celine shared with them the findings she discovered, after she shared with them the remains of Lumia and Prince Malik, the ladies were ready to end the court session when suddenly both the urns were caught in a magical fire of unknown origin and disappeared. Essentially, we no longer have the graves of Prince Malik and Lumia. Now, this does not mean that they have disappeared from the family tree. In fact, if we go to Lady Morida, we can see Lumia quite okay. And then if we go to Lilac, we can see her father, Prince Malik. However, the urns, the ashes, were caught in a magical fire of unknown origin and completely just disappeared. So nobody knows why that sparked. Nobody knows what caused it, why that is the case, and what's happened to it. All they know that the remains even of their beloved Sims were destroyed. So there is nothing to mourn anymore. Obviously, Celine is taking this very, very hard. She is having quite a hard time coming to terms with these truths of what Malik did and what happened to Lumia as well. She just can't get her head around it. And also, you know, she's in a bad position with everyone else because they know about her affair now. So I think she's feeling guilty towards her children. I mean, both her children. Astrid, because Astrid found out about her mother's affair now. And Lilac, because Lilac's father did something terrible and then died. So she's feeling terribly guilty for being the reason that Malik did all that. Astrid, let me just ignore this call. Yeah, so that's what's happening with Celine and stuff. Now, how does Morida feel about this? Morida has been taking this rather well, I would say. I feel as though Morida has decided not to mourn her daughter before she figures out who killed her daughter. I think that's where Morida's at right now. She just wants to know what happened to a little girl, and the same determination that Lumia had when she was alive to clear her mother's name, I feel like Morida has that now. And she's not going to stop or let emotions get in the way until she discovers how her daughter died and who is the killer. And she wants the killer punished. That's her goal right now. I think everyone else they are rather confused about what to feel, after the death of Lumia. I'm not entirely even sure who was that close to Lumia and who wasn't. And unlike The Sims 4, you can't actually see the relationship of your Sims with the ghosts. So there's really no way of telling how close of a relationship they had. But I think the youngsters would be a little bit disturbed to know what happened to Lumia, because she's of their generation. It's like one of them dying, right? So that would be, I think, a big deal to them. And actually, I wonder if anyone is that close to Morida. The youngsters aren't really. So I think they'll be at a loss, but definitely the Queen, Azalea, and Saffron, as well as Lord Kyle, they would feel terribly for Morida and the loss that she has gone through, and the fact that she's not even in the headspace to mourn right now. So right now they've all assembled at the mausoleum here. Since they have no remains to mourn, this kind of just space as a place for them to remember Lumia and Malik together. And then from here, of course, they're going to want to solve this mystery that happened. And we also have, Lumia's birthday coming up pretty soon, but I don't even know if anyone's going to be in the mindset to want to celebrate Lilac's birthday. I feel like it's going to be quite a sad thing. Like, everyone's attention is going to be elsewhere entirely, because they're still focused on this. They've solved one mystery, but it doesn't feel like a victory because they have so many more questions now about what went down, how it went down, why it went down. And I think there's various guilty parties here. I think Morida also would feel a bit guilty because, she doesn't understand how she even got in the position where her daughter was trying to clear her name, and she got so caught up in something she couldn't even share with her own mother. I think she would feel bad that she didn't know what her daughter was thinking or what her daughter was doing. Saffron would feel guilty as well because Saffron was welcoming Lumia's help, and she knew Lumia was doing a secret investigation that the Queen didn't, give to her, assign to her. She was doing it on her own. But Saffron still helped because Saffron was stuck and she needed help as well. Because she has to answer to the Queen and her wife at the end of the day. So I think she would feel guilty for burdening Lumia with that and having it lead to Lumia's downfall eventually. So everyone is just, they're trying to get their head around it, and it's definitely going to take a while. I don't know if they'll ever be over this because of how sudden it was. But we shall see how they adapt to life without Lumia now. Guys, this looks so sad to me right now. Lady Morida is playing with Lilac, the only baby we currently have at the castle. The youngest amongst Generation 3, because her own baby has died. Lumia recently died, we know that. And Morida is still fighting to come to terms with it. So she's giving little Lilac some attention, and I imagine part of that is also because not only did she lose her daughter, Lilac lost her father. Who the heck is calling? I don't know. But yeah, I think there's two reasons why Morida is giving Lilac attention. Lilac doesn't know her father's died, of course, and I can't say she was that close to him either. Typically, the fairies aren't that close to their fathers. Even so, he was a prince, so he was definitely someone she would have come into frequent contact with as she grew older. And Celine, I think, is wanting to spend some time with her daughter as comfort to herself for losing Malik. I mean, this is the only piece of Malik that she has left to herself. So she's gonna spend some time with little Lilac. She's gonna teach her to walk, put some effort into her toddler skills. Little Lilac, she doesn't have long before she grows up. And of course, the question remains, whose shoes is Lilac going to fill in the future? I mean, we know that Lady Saffron does not have an heiress. She does not have an heir. And now Morida is left without an heir as well because her daughter has just died. So we have no sorceress in line and we have no philosopher in line. So, who is Lilac going to follow in the footsteps of? Now, I feel as though, I mean, she's related to Saffron through marriage because the queen is her aunt and the queen is married to Saffron, so Saffron's her aunt. She's not related to Lady Morida in any way, shape, or form. But I do think that I think that Lilac is going to be following in the footsteps of Lady Morida. Because Morida did have an heir born to her. She had already someone filling in that position of heir, and it was taken away from her quite suddenly. So I feel as though, if Celine had a say, and even Snow, even though Saffron is her wife, I think they would feel it is fair for the spare child to be given to Morida as her apprentice. I think that's what the fairies would decide. So that means in the next generation, Lady Saffron, there's going to be new blood that takes on the role of philosopher. But Lilac, for her part, she is going to be now the sorceress in line. I feel like that's what all the fairies are thinking. It's probably a little bit early to announce that. Maybe when Lilac ages up into a child, they'll make it more official that she's going to be the next sorceress in line. That hopefully is going to give Morida some time to mourn her daughter. It's not going to feel as though they're replacing Lumia straight away. So yeah. And I don't think Saffron would mind too much because I suppose Lilac was going to fill in for Saffron at some point. I mean, that would have been the general trend. I think if Lumia hadn't died, by the time Lilac turned into a child, she would have become Saffron's apprentice. But now, it hasn't been declared yet. So Saffron can't say that they're taking away her apprentice. Now the fairies have decided that it would be unfair for Morida to be left without a successor because her daughter died. And Saffron's been used to not having a successor this whole time. I mean, she herself filled in the role of philosopher as new blood under Queen Snow. So I don't feel that idea would be too foreign to her to have her own role filled in the next generation by new blood, someone from outside the fairy court. Whereas Morida, she is one of the ancient bloodlines that has served the Verdingtons from the beginning, so it's kind of a big deal that her bloodline is ending with her now, ending with the death of her daughter. It's not going to succeed, so I feel like it's only respectful for her role to be assumed by someone who is a descendant of another ancient bloodline. At this point, I think we have the Rhytons, the Lakelands, and the Orayans. They were the three ancient bloodlines. The Delaney's died in the first generation, so they didn't even continue because they only produced sons. But we have three ancient bloodlines. Obviously, at this point, the Orayan line's gonna die with the death of Lumia, and so we're gonna have the Oraytons and the Lakelands. So I feel like it's gonna be fair to Morida to have an Orayton assume her role. So, Lady Nuala, because the Rhytons did start from Nuala Orion. She's done great if you think about it. She's done flippin' amazing. Because, actually, actually, guys. Yeah. There we go. Lilac and Lumia are blood cousins. I completely forgot about that. They're blood cousins. So Saffron is Lilac's aunt through marriage, but Lilac is cousins with Lumia through blood because Lilac's mother is the sister of Lord Odin, who is Lumia's father. So I suppose Morida is also her aunt through marriage, although that doesn't register in the relationship panel. I suppose it makes sense, right, that she's assuming her cousin's role after her cousin has died. Yeah. But I was saying, good on Nuala, because she has been very successful if you think about it now. Her bloodline has just strengthened in the future generation. So the likelihood of that ancient bloodline continuing has just increased. Even more so. But yeah, that's what we have going on with little Lilac and the fairies who are trying to adjust to this new life, this new way of thinking. Obviously, they can't be caught up with Lumia too much because they are in a waiting period. They're waiting to find out what happened. They don't really know where to go from here. They're just trying to fill in the void in their hearts and in the palace that has been created now that Lumia is not here anymore, and also having to face questions about who's going to fill these different spots that Lumia was taking up. So, you know, that's something they can't avoid. It's unavoidable. They have to think about succession for the different roles and all those kind of things. It's tough, but it must be done. You know, it might not seem like it, but Princess Avalon herself is going through some concerns of her own right now. I mean, things are so turbulent at this point in time at the court, and it's gonna get even more chaotic because Princess Avalon is gonna be aging up into a young adult pretty soon. So, as you can see, her birthday's coming up in a day, and so is Lilac's birthday in 2 days. So we are going to have another young adult and a child in the family, and this is a huge deal for our one and only princess that we have, heiress to the queendom. She's going to be aging up into a young adult, which is a huge deal. Because that means that a princess is finally gonna be able to select her proving. Means she's gonna be able to finally choose her method of proving and get started on being able to acquire the skills necessary to challenge her mother for the throne. So her life is gonna get serious very quickly from this stage on, once she has her birthday and once she ages up. And then, you know, the court's going through this with the death of Lumia. So it's gonna be a crazy time for her. She might not get all the attention that she really deserves. But thankfully she has a really good personality. I mean, she loves the outdoors, so I think she'll enjoy the proving. I suppose it depends on the type of skills that she acquires. She's also good and excitable and frugal. So I think if everyone wants to just have a simple celebration, I doubt we're going to have an event or a party or anything like that because, like I said, everyone's still in mourning. She's going to be understanding about that. I don't think she's going to put up much of a fuss regarding any of that. And she really hasn't acquired any skills, so she's going to be starting from scratch pretty much. But I suppose it depends what sort of proving she's going to do. I'm thinking we might stick with the one her mother had before, which was, you know, master 3 skills, because that seems to be the most flexible for our Sims and our princesses. So that's probably what Avalon's going to do. I think Morida's also going to start getting very busy Because if you remember in the previous generation, then our sorceress had to make a whole bunch of enlightenment potions for the heiress when our heiress was, trying to get through her own proving. So Morid is going to be going through the same thing here with Avalon. And then she's going to have an apprentice on her hands, because Lilac's going to be aging up into a child, and so she's going to have to start spending a lot more time with her niece so that she can train her up to take on her role. And it's definitely going to hurt. Definitely going to hurt, because she was supposed to be teaching all these things to her own daughter. And she was in the process of teaching these things to her daughter. But now she's having to pass that knowledge on to someone else and hope that they will do her bloodline justice. They will do the sorceress fairy magic that has, that she's learned growing up, justice. So in the next episode, guys, I'm thinking that we will have 2 birthdays. We will have Avalon's birthday and we will have Lilac's birthday. And I think it'll be a bit of a break in terms of story. We'll just focus on those 2 Sims. But, okay guys, with that said and done, I'm going to leave off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.